Now, g'day, and welcome back to a very festive Griffetts Garden here in Australia for a Christmas edition of a weekend Walkaround. So today we're just going to have a little bit of a quick walk around. Behind me here we've got the corn. You've probably seen a little bit of an update on that recently. It's going quite well, and you can see this guy up here. That's the male flower of the corn plant, and the female flowers will be the cobs or the ears, yet to form yet, and they shouldn't be far away because they're generally not far behind the tassels appearing at the top of the plant, being the male flowers. I think these went in early October, November, December. So these are what, 6 weeks, 8 weeks old, thereabouts. I guess we're still a way away from corn, January sometime I guess, and hopefully they'll all form nicely and we'll be able to enjoy some corn in the new year. Now behind me here is a little bit of a mess, but it's the tomato patch, and so we'll have a quick look through here. We'll come back to the butternuts, but they definitely need a prune, but you can also see how well the weed mat is doing in between the rows. Definitely a lot of weeds along the end here, and of course the rest of the area out here, but as I've said a few times, this is for the chickens, so when they come in here these weeds are going to be quite tall, but deliberately so that they can enjoy a lot of greenery. Now this little backup chilli plant has been eaten. In fact, the lettuce patch over here has also been decimated by some mongrel thing that's been eating them to the core. There's a couple more down there that have they've killed them really. Right, what's going to be left there for the rest of us? Nothing. In my shadow, apologies for that. But you can see under here, look what we got in here. We call them butternut pumpkins in Australia. Some people call them butternut squash. I don't know, they're always butternut pumpkins for us. And there's a big one here somewhere. There, if you can see. There's a nice sizey one over there, with the one sitting on top. There's another one, nice one there. So this plant is going quite well. And part of the reasons for that is pollination. See the nice big flower there? That's a female flower being on the end of the fruit. And if we're lucky, I can hear him. Just need to find him. So I can't see any bees in here just at the moment, but they will jump in here and pollinate the fruit from, they'll dance around between male and female flowers and do the pollination. There's a little bee just buzzing past. But here's an example of one that has not been pollinated, and you can tell because it's yellowing and it's limp, it's dying off. Next to it is one that has been pollinated. All right, so they need they're not flowers. Here's a flower, a male flower that's done its job, and the bees jump around between those. There's another one, yellow open one over there, just above this leaf in there. So the bees hop around between those and the open flowers of the fruit like this, and then you'll end up with beautifully pollinated pumpkins, butternuts in this case. So anyway, that's enough of those. Let's keep moving along. So this is a quick look at the cherry tomatoes, and you can see that they're forming quite well. So these need a prune for sure. And if you remember the yellow tomato, the one that'll split into 3 different plants, stems, then the fruit here is going quite well. You can see it all in there. So looking forward to seeing what these yellow tomatoes taste like, and how much bigger they're going to get. But they are going quite well, but again, there's some pruning required. Moving over a row into the Blue Mountains that we've put on sticks, here's some of the fruit, and they can be a little bit like the heirloom variety. Some of them have a bigger, I don't know what you call that, on the bottom, just the way they grow. Some of them are not so big, just the way they form. The ones on the other side, which will be a bit of a struggle to get the camera to, they don't really have that much of a bum on them. But these are also going quite well, and these are what? Probably close to 3 foot tall. But they need another prune as well. You can see the theme in here. In this plant here we have the San Marzano, and it's pretty easy to tell San Marzanos actually because of the shape of the fruit. It might be a little better in the shadow. So we're going to definitely have some great paste tomatoes. These are the Romas, and sorry but my shadow's all over the shots today, but that's because the sun is where it is in the morning. So these Romas need to be picked up. Sorry, these are not the Romas, these are the Blue Mountains in bush configuration, and there's some good fruit there. So these always have great surprises in them. But yeah, these need to be trellised up as well. Now moving to the end of this Roma, row of Romas, there's some nice fruit in there as well. Oops, there's also a leaf in the middle of the screen. So tomatoes are looking nice and healthy. Scrappy weeds in between, that's fine because they've been weeded. And just in the foreground here is all of the various different capsicums. And you remember there's a couple of replacements? These are the yellow ones. They will turn yellow when they ripen. These were a mixed bag, so not entirely sure what they actually are. It was a mix punnet. This is the candy. Now, these are the variegated ones. You can see the fruit here. It's variegated as well. These are going to be really interesting. They're elongated fruit. That one there's probably at least a couple of inches long, and you can see the leaf. Sometimes you think there's been a bird fly over it, but yeah, they're quite interesting. There's quite a few in there too. This is, well, standard capsicum, but they look a little bit yellowish. Not because they're struggling, but because maybe they are a different colour fruit. And on the end here we have the jalapeno, but these are called the chili jalapenos. So I think they're not going to be long, they're going to be like little popper type things. Anyway, the tomato and capsicum patch is coming along quite nicely. And where we live in the ACT, the challenge is to have tomatoes to eat by Christmas. We're not going to do that this year, but that's the annual challenge for tomato growers in the ACT. ACT being Australian Capital Territory. And down here we have our regular chillies, regular chillies being cayenne. And there's a few flowers on them, but I haven't really seen any chillies as such. There may well be. You'd expect there's probably one or two hiding in there, but these are going to need to be staked. You can see the one at the back there is starting to fall over a bit. So I need to put a stake on these and just make sure that they stay upright, especially when it's windy like it is today. So chillies are going quite well. You can see how the wind is getting to them a little bit, and they're very, very sheltered here as well. Right here, those of you that watched the raised garden bed video, I think it was probably my second video, so I think I've made a little bit of an improvement since then, but either way, that was number 2, and we planted this tomato. The KY1, it's a hybrid tomato. You can see the fruit in here. Now we bought this as a seedling as well, so fairly mature. And this is our best opportunity of having tomatoes by Christmas. But given Christmas is, well, 2 days away, we're not going to have tomatoes by Christmas. We fail the tomatoes by Christmas again this year. No surprise, not many people do get it, and I think if they do get them, they've started them early in a hothouse, or bought very, very mature seedlings. But this plant here has a lot of fruit, a lot of flowers, all at different stages. There's a load more fruit there. So we're probably going to get quite a lot of fruit off of this. I will stake this, probably staking is the wrong word, but I'll try to wrap a bit of a fence around it and keep it within this raised bed so it doesn't go everywhere and kept under control. That's the KY1 tomato. And if you're wondering why I'm calling it that, KY1 bush tomato. Now behind me here we have a heck of a lot of foliage and quite a colourful zucchini patch. And I've mentioned that we've been picking quite a few zucchinis, as you can see. They are absolutely everywhere. And they're looking very, very healthy. We're giving them away. We've got so many friends and family who've got zucchinis coming out of their ears just like we do. We'll go around and have a look at the other side in a moment, but these are the bush beans that I've got in. They're starting to flower. These are the flowers which will turn into the fruit of the bush bean. I've pulled these tomatoes away to give them some space, for the beans that is, plenty of sunlight. Did I say tomatoes or potatoes? Potatoes, of course. And this is the other main bed of potatoes. Now we've started digging a few. These are the King Edward, I think they're called. Now if we have a bit of a look in here. Oh, hang on, what have we got here? There's some really weedy little ones. Under here though, there's some few better ones. Here we go. Not too bad. There's another one there. They're not that big. Maybe they didn't get enough water. Not sure. But they're good enough. There'll be a stack of those later on. Get picked. And that one there looks like it was... Oh, it looks like it's been cut, actually. Maybe somebody was in here with a shovel. Let's get rid of that. That's the King Edward or Prince Edward, I think, potato. Anyway, there'll be a lot of potatoes in here by the time we're done. And these are, we've stopped buying potatoes. We'll start eating these, pulling them early. And the rest of the bed will come up in probably a month or so. So that's a couple of potatoes. We'll go around and have a look at the other side of the zucchinis. Before we do though, a quick look at the spinach patch. Still heavily going to seed, but I think I may have got to the end of it. Maybe not. Some plants look like they're not going to seed, like that one. But I think bottom line is we'll probably pull this out and turn it into an early bed for things like broccoli and cabbages and the like. So now we're on the other side of the zucchini plants, and I just wanted to show you, I know a lot of you have questions that I've seen on various groups and bits and pieces like that about problems with their zucchinis, and it's about pollination primarily. But that's what I wanted to talk about today. So there's an easy way to understand this. Just shift some of this plant material that I've cut off. And as you can see, I've cut a lot of leaves off the zucchini plants. A couple of reasons for that. Give them space, give them air, keep disease possibility low, and I also will be supporting these as they grow up a stake. Now, we can see all of what we need to see here with zucchini plants. So stick with me, because this will be the answer to anybody that's having problems with zucchinis. This one here, for example, what's going on here? It's no good, is it? That's because it hasn't been pollinated. It's dying off, it's never formed, and all the rest of it. It's useless. Why is that? Pollination, as I said. You need two things. A male flower and the female flower, which is where the fruit comes from. And you can see the very, very small fruit in there, and the flower that's about to open, like this one in the top right. That one, see how it's closed up? Job done with that one. We are a bit short of male flowers at the moment, but that's why you never just have the one plant. There'll always be some flowers around somewhere, but as you can see here, not even ours have been pollinated or pollinated properly. And you know what? When you're picking 4 and 5 zucchinis a day, that's okay if they don't all make it. So, male flower, female flower. You can see the bees, here it comes. You need the bees around to do the job. And you just let them do their job. That's what they do. That's why we need bees, to pollinate the world's food bowl. Naturally. So here's another couple of male flowers over there. They will come. All right, so here is a male flower, if I can get it out of there. Female, female, male, all on the same plant. The more plants you have, the more opportunity to have flowers of opposite sex open at the same time. Anyway, that's the zucchini lesson. Let's move on to the next things. These are the blueberry plants. They don't really do too much at this time of the year. These had a very, very severe pruning over winter, so we're not expecting anything out of these, and you know, whatever is there is absolutely, well, it's just token effort really. And next year is when they'll fruit much better. The mint, this is going to cop a haircut, quite a severe haircut, and that's good. We've already got a good deal of mint off it. I think the secret, let's not necessarily call it a secret, but a tip for your mint, and all your herbs for that matter, is don't cut the entire thing back at once. There's a good chance of killing it because it won't have any ability for photosynthesis and keep growing. You can see that in here on this big branch, if you like, there's little growth. So if you can cut it back to a point beyond where the growth is, then that'll still grow. If you go further back, there's a chance that you probably kill that particular branch. And if you do that for the entire plant, you've probably killed your plant. Almost like the lavender back here. That was probably cut back a little bit too far. Anyway, this will cop it with a hedge cutter soon, but fresh mint in summertime. Fantastic. Next to that is a rosemary bush, sticking its head up there. Same story with it. It's starting to come over the path here a little bit, so that'll get a pretty heavy prune soon. And in fact, you can see just by the height of it, I've pruned this side here already away from the hose, and you can see how lush and thick it's come back. And amazingly, the aroma is just unbelievable. So now I'm confident that I can go and chop all this off and everything will be fine with that plant and make this walkway a little bit easier to get through. Oregano, wherever you're from. Quite severe in here, but see all the tiny little growth. Keep some, and it'll keep coming. Do that to all of it, chances are you might kill it. So that one's good, and we'll prune the other side of that at a later date. Thyme, that's had a little bit of a prune. You can see that one's already starting to come back quite nicely. Coriander and parsley back there, struggling a little bit. This has gone to seed. I've had a lot of trouble with things bolting this year. It's been hotter than it has for the last 3 years, so that might have something to do with it. This was 3 foot tall of parsley before it all got cut back. Merry Christmas, chickens. Hello. There will be a video on these guys soon. The little one here wants to have a conversation all the time. The famous Quamby. 1, 2. Now outside here, things are going really quite well. These are the Queensland Kent tomato pumpkin. You need to watch a couple of different videos to catch up on that variety. And see that flower up there? That's the male flower. Again, same principle as the zucchinis. Male flower, closed up. Male flowers. Pumpkins take a lot longer yet to open, male flower. Big pumpkins take a lot longer to get the female flowers, or the fruit, than what the butternuts do. The butternuts seem to go pretty much at the same time for their male and female flowers. The big pumpkins though take a long time. But these are about the same as everybody else's pumpkins in terms of stage of growth in the local area. And the video that's just come out is saving some big box corn from certain death. Here it is, just here. We put a net over it to keep the, they're not there at the moment, but the neighbours have a lot of cockatoos that sit on their fence. So these are, in the ground only a couple of days. So they'll take a while before they look any good, but that's progressing and we've got some protection over them. The cucumbers back here. Oh, look at that, look at that. That can go to end of its days. These are the Lebanese cucumbers. Not worried about that guy, he's good. This one that was up here, that's the 28 spotted one, and they do all this damage to your plants. They suck the life out of your leaves and end up killing your plants. So kill them off. I did get a tip from my brother actually, from his hothouse days or greenhouse days in the commercial sense, and I put some eco oil, which is an organic product. I probably should go and grab it, but I might put a picture on the screen here of what that is, and it worked wonders. Not neem oil, it's an eco oil by brand. You can get it at the same big box store as those dodgy corns, but that's a good organic product that has certainly suppressed that 28 spotted ladybird. So probably need another dose on these. No withholding period on it, which means you can eat the fruit. Well, I probably wouldn't eat them the same day, but next day. Let's have a quick look at the eggplant before we run out of battery on this thing. Look at that. Now we've picked 2 already. Another one under here. These are going quite well. A little bit worried about these leaves at the bottom actually, and this one in particular. What's going on with this one? It's not like they're not getting water. So they just need to be pulled off, but there's fruit there. There's fruit there. This one's a little bit later, and that's fine because, you know, you can only eat so many eggplant. And there's a couple more in here. And we've picked 3 or 4 already. So I think I have a picture of these as well that I can post up that we've picked to date. Anyway, I think that's probably enough for one day, and it looks like we have somebody on watch for us to make sure that everything's okay and the pumpkins are nice and safe and nobody comes and steals them. So that's the weekend wander for now, for this week at least. I hope everybody has a fantastic festive season, however you celebrate this time of year. For us it's called Christmas. I hope everybody has a wonderful period of time off over whatever it is that you do for the rest of the year. For me, it's a day job in an office, sadly. And a very, very safe travelling season for those that are travelling. Please be safe. Please enjoy your time off and hopefully catch up with some friends and family and help celebrate with them the fruits and hard labour of your own garden, hopefully. So I think that's it from Griffetts Garden for today. Probably not this year, but for now. So I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, or however you choose to do that. And I'll see you again soon. That's it from Griffetts Garden. Bye for now.